Sit down and relax as I talk about the thoughts that we all have throughout our day. I'm your host, Jordan Rodriguez. I hope that you share and enjoy. The way this benefits me is that I'll be able to document, refer to, and help others with my journey to a million. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a story here. Just bear with me. And so we're going to start off. There was this kid in 8th grade that was really good at basketball. I'm being a little bit biased here, but he was good at basketball. He made it to the semifinals of his tournament at the rec league, and he was fairly good, right? He had an ego that was pretty high, and he really didn't think anything else outside of basketball besides the fact that he was doing good against that competition. But then comes high school, and he was unaware of the levels to this game. And so he both had to increase both his physical and mental aspects of his game as well as his skill to be anywhere near good. And as a freshman in high school, making a decent varsity team or JV team, whatever you want to call it, he would still understand that there was levels to this game. And he was unaware of this fact prior to high school. He was so unaware, in fact, that he didn't even realize how much of a skill gap there was, nor a physical gap in both atmospheres, in both environments, from the rec league to the high school. And so he still didn't even understand that until around senior year, where he really grasped the understanding of levels to this game. And so that little 8th grade player was me, right? I didn't understand awareness whatsoever up until, 8th grade, where I really grasped the understanding of levels to any game. And first and foremost, basketball was the first thing that I really understood in terms of levels and understanding how great things actually were, people actually were at this sport. A big mentor of mine being Kobe Bryant, not personally, but externally. And so I really understood from that point on the levels to the game. And this goes for all aspects of life. Being aware of these levels are so crucial to your improvement. Like, it's not even funny, because I didn't back down from the challenge. Instead, as a weak-ass freshman in high school, playing against kids that are 2-3 years older than me, it wasn't any new thing for me because of the fact that I've done it, prior every single year with my brother. And my brother being older than me. And so it wasn't necessarily new facts, but at the same time, it was a completely different environment. It was understanding where my physical limits, not necessarily my limits, but how much I had to increase my skill, my physical capability, or my mental understanding of the game. And I didn't realize that until, freshman year, when it really hit me. But that's when I had like the biggest dip, if you could say, in terms of understanding it. But when I got to that low, I really understood how much work I had to put in. And COVID hit, and that was the perfect excuse for me to be able to drive myself to, just to exhaustion, to work as much as possible. And that's why I came back sophomore year, a different person. But it also led me to, which sucks to say, but I had an appendix removal 1-2 weeks before the season even started, before tryouts, which was a pain in the ass because, I had worked 3 months prior to that on my entire physical body, and now I'm recovering from a stupid surgery. Either way, I got back in shape, whatever, etc. And that sophomore year, I felt great. I was way beyond my peers in terms of competition, and at least for that school. And that just goes to show how much awareness can, allow you to understand the games or the levels to the game. And so, how do you even create that? Well, simple. How honestly, I just walked into it to understand awareness or to get awareness was simply by changing my environment. And this wasn't exactly like I decided to do this. Well, I mean, I guess you could say, but like everybody has to go to high school, right? So I went to high school not really knowing I was going to search for something that was just going to tear me down, right? So that taught me necessarily just everything about environment, from the sense that if you surround yourself with people that are even 2-3 years older than you, better than you at something, or 2-3 years on you in terms of experience, they will definitely be able to teach you a lot of things. Especially for me, like, not for nothing, even like there were players that were not better than me necessarily, but they still had like years of experience on me, so they were, in essence, they had something to teach me. And that goes for, I remember it was like Xander, Nikki, Chris, like there was a whole bunch of kids on that team, on my JV team, they were able to teach me things like that I really just never knew until I played with them, because they had years of experience. They've played in high school basketball for the past 3 years, so like it was just a different scenario. And hey, really quickly, I just want to say thank you for listening to this podcast. I actually don't advertise for this, and all the money that I make, I put straight into donations. So, all that I ask is that you have a blessed day and continue to listen. Maybe even leave a review. That would mean the world to me. I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. And also, you can find me on all other social platforms. It's most likely going to be JRodSocial9. It taught me so much about the levels to this shit. And so bringing that now into computer science or engineering, whatever you want to call it, how I'm actually understanding levels of education now, it's really cool to see, because I can correlate a lot of the things. I was talking to a business partner of mine, Jeremiah, and we were talking about how I was able to correlate calculus with the stock market, because in calculus, basically, it's not like you're just analyzing or seeing where the graph is moving, where a line on a graph is moving, just like the stock market. You can take the derivative of that and see exactly where it's going to go. And obviously with the stock market, there's way more stuff. It's not as easy as I'm saying it, but just for your better understanding, it's just basically knowing or guessing where that line is going to go. But in calculus, you're able to have the power to actually know exactly where that line is going to go. And there's obviously a lot more to calculus, like integrals and etc. But I'm able to really understand the educational levels to all of this right now, and it's only thanks to me really throwing myself into college and not giving up. Because not for nothing, I really didn't, this marking period, or this semester, whatever you want to call it, was really hard. It was difficult. I'm taking physics 1, calc 1, and 2 computer science classes that it was really tough on me, especially with the physics professor I have, Dr. Joseph Sivo from Bergen Community College. He's a great professor. I love him as a teacher, especially, like, he's a great guy. But in terms of grading, he's definitely difficult. But but he's great. He really teaches you how to be a really good physician and get the physics fundamentals down, and he's great at what he does. I suggest him to anybody. But besides that, like, I'm really grasping the understanding of everything in terms of education now. Obviously, I understand the game of basketball and how good people were. And I was able to correlate that with myself and my skills. So I can compare myself to others, not with a heinous intent or just stupidity, because a lot of people, they'd be like, oh, don't compare yourself. It's not to compare yourself to people like saying that they're better than you in every other way. No, like even if they are good, like now you know what you need to get better on. That's the way I look at it. Like people look at it with such a negative connotation when you compare yourself to others, and it's just stupid. Like you can compare yourself to others. You should, honestly, you should compare yourself to the greatest of greats, and that's how you get great. Like do exactly what they did, and at some point along the way you're going to understand how you're going to do it by yourself. You don't you, it's very hard to understand, how to be great or how to be the best if you're not necessarily learning from the best people. And the only way to do that is looking up to the best people in whatever industry that is, right? So you can really analyze these people. For instance, I'm really trying to understand Warren Buffett a lot, right? Because he's one of the greatest investors of our time. Him and Charlie Munger, like I would love to, obviously, rest in peace, Charlie Munger. But I really wish I had the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with them in terms of investing and finances, because they're two brilliant minds, and that'd be a great honor. But besides that, understanding, like he has a book called Snowball, which is based on really his life, and that is something that I just started reading, which is, it's so important to understand, like these people, their everyday lives, their habits, the things that they do, it's all for a reason. So you will learn so much in terms of like how you can go about your day, what you can tweak so that you can become a better person in general. And all entrepreneurs are striving to be better people as a whole, or just striving to be better businessmen, right? And if that's something that you want to get better at, I highly suggest that you analyze the best of the best. Like we're talking billionaires and some millionaires. I wouldn't suggest all millionaires, because I think that, if you have 1 million in the bank, 2 million in the bank, it's completely possible, especially if you're 50 years old. Like there's so many of them out there. It's not even funny. And in terms of assets too, there's a lot of millionaires. So I wouldn't necessarily trust them in terms of getting rich or becoming, I don't know, super, super wealthy. I think that you can definitely derive your own, understanding of how you can get richer or get your own wealth, because they've did it their own way, exactly how every other millionaire did it their own way. But some that are striving to be billionaires or hundreds of millionaires, or even in the tens of millions, then you can definitely, understand from them and learn from those people. But anybody under under 2 million and they're 40 years and older, like it's completely achievable. And it's not really that difficult if you're just saving all your money and just like had the past 10-20 years of saving money and having some good luck on your end in terms of the stock market or real estate portfolio. It's not that difficult. So in terms of understanding the hierarchy of this game, it's really to understand as a student, right? You have to be a student of the game, of any game that you want to partake in, right? If you want to be partaking in education and business and whatever aspect of your life, be a student of it. I just started a habit of studying 3 hours every morning, and I'm planning on doing this habit for the rest of my life. I don't care if I have a job. I don't care if I'm a billionaire. It really doesn't matter to me, because I'll never stop learning. I think that's truly like something like great if you're able to continue to learn in terms of like your mental capabilities. Like it just helps you so much spiritually. It gives you something to be excited about, and it really gives you something to learn about and be interested in. So it gives you newfound interest in hobbies. But truly mastering the game is all about putting the hours in. Like the people that are where they are understand that they just put 10 times more hours in than you. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, Michael Jordan put, like, countless hours more than every single other person, right? Like, we have, like, the greatest of greats put so many hours into the game of basketball that some people can't even comprehend this shit. And it's really just about, like, it's not beautiful, it's nothing. And there's a quote that I have, and I got it a little bit from David Goggins, so don't quote me. It's, you lock yourself in a dungeon with the key in your hand, but you don't open the door. So you lock yourself inside of the dungeon with the keys in your hand. You choose not to leave. That's it. That's as close as you're gonna get to understanding what true success or hard work is. That's true hard work. There's no glamour, there's no, like, straight up hard work is you lock yourself in a dungeon with the keys in your hand and you choose not to leave. That's it. It's as simple as that. And I'll end that on this note. So, understanding the levels and becoming aware allow you to enhance your game. If you think you're great, go somewhere else. And you'll be shown until the end where you're the greatest and everybody goes to you. And then you have the best of best minds coming to you to learn from you. That's when you truly master the game. But until that point, keep on moving. Keep on locking yourself in the fucking dungeon. Keep on going to work. And just never give up on that. Because there's going to be something that clicks. There's going to be something that clicks.